Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year, and welcome to my first episode of Morning Tea Talk 2020. I know I didn't give you guys any type of warning or any type of announcement that I was going to be doing this. It has been on my heart to do it again. For those of you guys who were with me, not this November that passed, but last November, then you know that I was doing Morning Tea Talk live episodes every single day in the month of November in 2018. And it was a lot to keep up with, but since then I've been wanting to get back. So hold on just a minute. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Tea Talk Live. It's me, Miss Ruby. Welcome to my channel. Let me know, comment. Let me know that you guys are here. Say what's up, say your name. How are you doing this morning? So in this episode, I want to talk to you guys about like something that's on my mind regarding the new year. As you see by the title, it's called New Year, Same BS. So I'm actually going to give you guys a little story about something that I observed yesterday that really had me wanting to get on here and just talk to y'all on a real level about how to actually change so that you can be better this year. Okay, so just real quick, just couple house rules. I definitely want you guys to comment. I don't want this video to be very long, ideally 15 to 20 minutes long. My baby, I do have a baby. Usually she wakes up around 7 o'clock. Sometimes she gives me a little break and wakes up at 7:30, but we're just going to assume she wakes up at 7, which means we only have about 10 minutes left because I was late, okay? Good morning. Happy New Year from Geneva Al. Did I say your name right? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you. My goal and desire is to do Morning Tea Talk live with you guys every Wednesday morning at 6:45. My heart is like, I want to wake up with you guys and just kind of get the day started on off on a good note. I got my tea today. I'm drinking from this mug with this inspirational quote, and I am drinking peppermint tea. Your girl done got sick, y'all. This really sucks, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Gotta keep it pushing. Okay, so New Year. A lot of people, New Year, new you. But what I'm starting to see is that a lot of times it's New Year, same BS. And what I mean by that is people are not really always actively taking the responsibility to make the changes that they want to see in their life and in themselves. And you know that they have said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And in real life, we can all look at ourselves and see that usually by the end of the year, we're extremely disappointed in a whole bunch of stuff because, sorry about the lighting, by the way. I actually had lighting set up and it's just like messed up right before I got started. In future videos, I'm gonna have lighting better because I feel like I don't really know if you guys can like see me well. But yeah, so I feel like a lot of people just don't actively take the responsibility to really make the changes that they want to see in their life. And I want to speak to that and I want to encourage you guys on like how you can actually do that. So yesterday I was observing a phone call. I won't say who it was that was speaking, but basically somebody who I know and somebody who's very near and dear to me. And they're like calling someone else that I know and I'm just like listening in the background and they're just talking about all this stuff, right? Drama. So-and-so did this to me and I know that they did it. Like they were talking about being betrayed and blaming it on like, people in their lives, why they are the way that they are right now. And, like, I don't want to like I'm not putting any names out there, but basically it's just like, they felt like somebody had laced their stuff, right? So they felt like they was like high on something that they weren't supposed to be high on. And they're just like, all I did was smoke a blunt and have a drink, like so-and-so must have laced my stuff and, what. And this is a person who, like, I know has like a history of, struggling with drug addiction and is trying to be clean right now, sober. And so this occurred, right? So first thought that I had is like just the way that this person was speaking was like incredibly foul. And I was just like, in the situation that you're in, I feel like you're always talking like this to the people who you're referring to. So clearly, y'all are not having effective communication, because if you cussing this person out and they cussing you out, ain't nobody really getting through to each other, right? And then second of all, it's just like the victimization in the whole thing. Like, anybody who knows me personally knows I can't stand people who victimize themselves over and over and over. I get it. Sometimes we're taken advantage of. Sometimes people really do things to hurt us, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're always the victims. You know, they say, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna keep getting done over by the same people over and over and then keep thinking it's their fault? At some point, we have to take personal responsibility. I don't care what it is. Good morning, Bianca's Corner. Good morning, good morning. I don't care what it is, you know, a lot of us, we're in bad relationships, dangerous relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like, relationships that really put our lives in jeopardy. A lot of us are going through the same BS at work, the same BS with our girlfriends, you know, so on and so forth. We constantly feel like people are doing us over, doing us wrong. Whatever it is that you feel like you're struggling with, even if it's you disappointing yourself, which is something that I struggle with a lot. Over and over and over, like disappointing myself, not living up to the expectation I have placed on myself. And a lot of times I'll get like down on myself, you know, and I'll start to really, what do you call it? Like like inflict pain upon myself on an emotional level, because I feel like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm here to remind you guys about the verse in the Bible in Romans where it says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So that's in Romans 12. Therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So we've all heard that, right? For those of you who don't know, obviously, you know, I believe in the Holy Bible and the things that are taught. I'm going to check into you guys' chat real quick. Thank you. Ooh, I'm glad you say you love my skin, because, girl, we working on it. Got to change your thinking. Right. And so, ooh, whoops. Yeah, and so I feel like there's work to be done right there. So we talk about being transformed by the renewing of our minds, and I feel like a lot of times when we quote that scripture, when we even think about it, we think about it for like 5 minutes in the moment. But to really be transformed by the renewing of our minds means thinking about it and committing to it even when the issues are not occurring, so that we can be prepared when the issues come up. So this person in particular who I'm referring to, I was just, you know, telling the person who was talking on the phone with them, I'm just like, but they haven't made any like real changes. The fact that they're still in the presence of the people who they feel like, you know, will do them do low. You know, the fact that they're still reacting to those types of situations the same exact way. The fact that they put themselves in a vulnerable position. First of all, I'm probably very unlikely to ever have somebody lace some drugs that I'm taking, because I ain't taking no drugs. How you gonna be, how you gonna like be smoking and drinking and doing all kind of stuff with other people, taking other people's stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Like smoking out of somebody else's stuff, like drinking out of somebody else's cup, and then be mad if something happens to you, like as if you are just ultimately the victim. I'm trying to get people in this situation. I'm not saying it's cool for people to do you wrong, but I'm saying that in this world it's going to happen. Period. There's no escaping it. That you're never going to be able to control the actions of other people. And a lot of people are not transformed. A lot of people are not out to do the best thing. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to guard ourselves, protect ourselves. And a part of that is operating with wisdom and the will to actually make a change. So, you know, there has been times in my life where I've definitely felt like people were taking advantage of me. And so what I stopped doing is giving those people the opportunity to take advantage of me. So in this new year, you know, I'm using that as like a starting point of conversation to say, like, if you are always experiencing the same BS, I promise you by the end of this year, you're going to be the same person, the same position. You might have a little bit more experience, a little bit more insight, but all in all, your world is still going to be the same until you truly make and are willing to make a radical change. And sometimes those changes are extremely uncomfortable. Hold on, I need to take a sip. For instance, like me, a lot of times, like I struggle, like I said, with feeling like disappointed with my progress in life, right? Good morning, Shanice. Good morning, good morning. So I feel like I disappoint me more than anything, right? And so pretty much all of 2019, I've spent really exploring my mindset. Why is it that I keep getting depressed? Why is it that I keep feeling lowly and I keep feeling like, self-sabotage? That's the word I was looking for earlier. What is it about my thinking and my approach on life that's got me constantly falling into this, down this rabbit hole? And I had to realize, like, first of all, elevation cause you to alleviation in life, people and things. Yes, yes, yes. And so I had to realize, for me, it has a lot to do with setting unnecessary expectations. I'm not even gonna say unrealistic, because people will tell me like, oh, you're setting unrealistic expectations, and I immediately be like, how you gonna tell me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing people out here doing 1,000,000 crazy things and they're being successful at it. So how you gonna tell me I'm setting unrealistic expectations? But I had to realize it's just setting unnecessary expectations. And then I had to really think about, like, what is the foundation of my belief system about what my life means, why my life matters? And I had to go back to the word, and the purpose that God gives me, and God created me, first of all, to serve him, and second of all, to serve other people, and to love people, while I'm here on this earth, to spread love. Ultimately, I know that is like our purpose. And I know that he has things set up for us in this life so we can gain the experiences, so we can be prepared for the next stage and the next stage. And a lot of times we miss it because we're just so focused on physical pleasure and gaining the world, at the risk of losing our soul in the process. And then we're like, well, I don't want to lose my soul. Well, at least me, I don't want to lose my soul, so I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. But then I still subtly in the back of my mind get frustrated when I don't have X, Y, and Z. And so I had to really discipline myself to be in God's word more, study more, and really accept the fact that the expectations I've set on myself are actually just unnecessary in terms of fulfilling my purpose. I don't have to own 5 businesses, be the perfect wife, the perfect mom, be there for everybody, everything that they ask for, never disappoint, because, that sounds like perfectionism, and it just doesn't exist in the human experience. You know what I'm saying? I had to realize that sometimes the things that I fail at, those are just allowed. God allows me to fail at things so I can learn lessons. The people who do me wrong are supposed to do me wrong, so that I can learn from it, and maybe so that I can, get them out of my life or whatever. Maybe they're just not meant to go into the next season with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to learn a lot of things about myself, like in self-reflection, and realize that just because I'm not doing all the things that Ruby said that she wanted to do doesn't mean I'm not fulfilling the purpose that God has for me. And so in order for me to really live that out, what living that out means for me is stop putting 1,000,000 things on my plate, setting myself up to be disappointed. First of all, start to prioritize the things that I know in spirit God wants me to do over everything, no matter how uncomfortable and challenging it is. Always go to God with all of my problems, with all of my, heartache and challenges, and allow him to show me the way through. Because when he shows us the way through and we abide in him and we're obedient, then we get spiritual blessings that none of us can give to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Enlightenment, peace. I was talking about it with some family members yesterday. Like, a lot of people seem to have everything going on in the world, but they don't have peace. They don't have internal peace because they sacrificed so much of what God gave them internally. The vision, the clarity of mindset, the peace, at least within themselves. They sacrificed all of that in order to gain physical possessions. And so I have to just really consider all of that and actually incorporate that in my daily living in order for me not to constantly end up in that same situation of disappointment. Let me know in the comments what it is that you guys might be struggling with in this department. Good morning. Good morning, Katrina. Welcome to Tea Talk Live with me, Miss Ruby. I know I didn't make any announcements to you guys that I was going to do this, but I would like to do this every Wednesday from this point forward at 6:45 in the morning. And I want to just talk to you guys on a real level. No makeup, hair ain't done, I ain't brushed my teeth. Just really just talk to y'all women to women, and like, let's really discuss some things that, give you guys my perspective and opinion on some things, in real life that we're constantly challenged with. And right now, I feel like it's a new year. Some of us are scared to actually make new commitments, scared to actually try for new things or whatever. because we've disappointed ourselves so much, or because we know the circumstances with which we're living in right now are not conducive to our success in said category. And I just want to remind you guys that, like, you could change all of that. Like, the fact of the matter is, like, the dude that you dealing with, you could just choose not to deal with him. Like, yeah, it might be comfortable laying up next to him every day. Like, yeah, he might be fulfilling a lot of things in you, and I get it. Like, I could totally imagine. I'm not in that situation, but I could imagine. But if he's taking more away from you than he's adding to you, or if he's disrupting something that God has called you to do, and you don't have that peace, I challenge you. Figure out a way. Figure out a way to separate yourself. You know what I'm saying? If that job that you're going to every single day is making you feel like you hate life and like you want to kill yourself, yeah, you're making the money that you want to make, but that's the only thing you're making. You're losing everything else in the process. You're losing time with your family. You know what I'm saying? You're losing sleep at night. You're sacrificing your health for the money. You know, you're sacrificing everything, and you don't actually feel fulfilled. You don't feel like you're even fulfilling a purpose. It's one thing to sacrifice your health, time with your family, you know, time with yourself, but you know, like, God called me to do this, you know, at least right now for this season, I'm going to be obedient. And you know that the things that you're doing is according to the will that God has for your life. Because sometimes I feel like, yeah, we got to be a little bit uncomfortable. But, like, it's another thing when you know you just doing it for money, like, or you just doing it for status, or you just doing it because you don't know how to do anything else. And what you're doing alongside of that is not trusting God fully. I want to challenge us this year to trust ourselves, to trust God, and to be real with ourselves. Because until we're willing to be real with ourselves, we're going to keep going through the same BS, period. So if you guys have any commentary on this topic, let me know in the comments. What's in your cup? Are you guys drinking tea? Are you guys driving to work? Are you at work? Are you at home? Who are you? Stay-at-home moms? Like, what's up? What's up? So I'm going to go ahead and, like, end this live. Come back next Wednesday at 6:45. Follow me on Instagram at It's Me Miss Ruby, so you can be notified and reminded of these morning Tea Talks, Tea Talk Live. Like I said, forgive me for the lighting, the quality, and everything today. It's going to be better next week. I have a video that I am dropping this week, hopefully on Sunday, if not sooner. And it's a challenge that I'm putting out, a challenge that I have challenged myself to, and I'm putting out for you guys, which is a 20 challenge in 2020. And so all the details for that will be in that upcoming video. God bless you guys. Be you. Love you. Make it all beautiful. Trust God. Accept change. And be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It is a process. It is not something that just happens overnight. It is something you have to dedicate yourself to renew your mind. But I promise change is on the other end of that. God bless you, and I will see you, or you will see me, next week. What's up, Brandy? No, girl, you didn't miss it. I mean, all you have to do is just play it back. I'm looking forward to having some more conversations with you, girl. Thank you so much for your loyal support. Got a lot of catching up to do with y'all. Stay tuned. Okay.